Guys, I want to review something with you as we're looking at solving equations, and it has to do with our distributive property. One of the things that's really easy for us to get tripped up on is when we're distributing is that when we have a negative in front of our coefficient. And so I want to work two examples for you so that you can get the next problem correct. All right, so this first example in green, we have a -3 as our coefficient. And so when I'm distributing, we have to remember to distribute the -3. So if you're using your calculator to do the math, I'm not just doing 3 times 6x, I'm doing -3 times 6x. So that's going to give me a -18x. And then when I distribute it over here to this +7, I'm looking at -3 times +7. If you use your calculator to do that math, that lets you know that this is a -21. So when I have my -18x here, I'm going to then subtract 21 because my answer is -21. So distributing a negative can really mess us up when we're dealing with our integers. Let's look at this next example. In this one, I have something in front of my negative for you here. We have a parentheses. We don't have a coefficient that's visible here, but I do have a negative. So we could think of our coefficient as 1. And I know that that's kind of hard for us to wrap our minds around. But since I have these parentheses here, I'm thinking about it as I have a -1 of these. Okay, so when I distribute, I'm going to do -1 times 12, and -1 times 12 gives me a -12, and then a -1 times a -2 is going to give me a +2. So this then becomes +2x. Now I don't want to forget my 4x that was left here at the beginning, and then I can combine like terms, and I have a +4x here and a +2x here, so these two combine to make 6x, and I'm left with -12. Now, simplifying these expressions can help us so that when I go to solve for x, when I have an equal sign on the other side, I can make sure that I'm using the right numbers. Don't let distributing a negative trip you up, okay?